All right, guys, good afternoon, good morning. Bell work is up. You should already have this close to being done based off what we talked about yesterday in the Play Posit. So we're going to do that again today. We'll take that a little bit to the next level as we'll have some more questions, and I figured out a little bit more about it. So hopefully we'll be in good shape. All right, so today your bell work should be done. You're on Play Posit right now, hopefully. Success criteria we'll talk about. All right, again, we went over vocab yesterday. So this is a shortened version, the sheet that I gave you that should be in your binder. So if you need to take a look at that, you can, or look over your paper. All right, find a textbook in your desk. Just kind of glance over pages 87 to 88, where it talks about church leaders. What writings shaped Christianity, page 88 to 89, and then read textbook page 89, the Bishop of Rome. So if you need to pause, go ahead and do that, and we'll discuss it in a minute. All right, so we just read on church leadership, church in Rome. Vatican City, still today very important to Catholics. We talked about Pope Francis and his papacy yesterday. So this is sort of the center of the Catholic Church, where they still hold ceremonies and things like that for the Pope. And going forward, St. Peter's Basilica, still to this day, again, very important. So why we are looking at the church and what it's going to be like for those in charge, and how is it broken down. So when you're coming in this classroom, who is in charge? Okay, some of you think that you're in charge. Some of you know that the teacher's in charge, and then who's my boss, and then who's their boss. So let's take a look at the school hierarchy. Who's in charge? Who's the principal's boss? If the principal's the main honcho at the school, who is her boss, his or her boss? Okay, so starting at the top, you have superintendent of schools. Okay, we just got a new one last year, that is Bill Spurlock. Then we'll have principals, so this would be, in our case, Miss Seymour. Then you have assistant principals, so Miss Beller, Mr. Wilhoit, help lead each school, assist the principal in whatever they need done. Then you have teachers, teach a student, sponsor activities, coach, all those things. And then you will have students. Students participate in activities to represent each school. They go, they learn, everything's good. Okay, so this is example of school hierarchy. So if a student has a problem with another student, they go to the teacher, hopefully. Okay, if a teacher is having a problem with another teacher or with students, they would go up the line, and that would be assistant principals. All right, it just keeps going. Like if you have a principal that's not getting the job done or whatever the case may be, then someone will go to the superintendent. All right, and then the superintendents, they eventually answer to someone at the state. So we're not going to do this activity that's talking about, but I do want you to look at the example of school hierarchy and compare it to the church hierarchy. All right, so we are going to look at church leadership. So we have the school here, we just talked about, and then you have the Roman Catholic Church. All right, so superintendent of schools, principals, assistant principals, go down to teachers, go down to students. All right, at the top, the Pope, Pope Francis right now, he is the leader of all Roman Catholic churches. He's been in the news quite a bit recently because he's a little bit different, a little bit more carefree than maybe other popes. Then you have the cardinals, high-ranking church officials, advise the Pope in leading churches. Bishops are church officials who oversee many churches in same general area. They keep records, okay? So I know when I was growing up in Kentucky, there was a bishop for all of the Catholic churches in Louisville, and there's probably a bishop for all the Catholic churches around here. All right, priests lead individual churches. So this would be, for those of you who are not Catholic or don't really understand Catholicism, this would be like your pastor or your minister, whatever it's called in different denominations. They lead individual churches. Then you have monks, nuns who lived in devotion to the faith, and we'll talk about them more tomorrow. All right? Then you have church members at the bottom. Everyone went to the local church. So this was the hierarchy of the Roman Catholic Church. Again, clergy, if you are a monk or a nun, and then go all the way up through priests, bishops, cardinals, and the pope, then you are a member of the clergy. So if you ever go to the hospital and it says handicap, and then next to it says clergy parking, that is for the ministers, the pastors, the priests to come and pray with sick patients. You've probably seen that word before, but that is one of your vocab words. So if you are anywhere from a monk and nun to a pope, that is the church structure. You are a church official if you're a member of the clergy. All right, so what do we think this picture below symbolizes? Okay, this symbolizes the spread of Christianity, okay, the spread of the Catholicism. So St. Patrick was a priest during the time Rome fell. All right, so he's a priest during the time Rome falls. And we know St. Patrick's Day, and let the Irish be with you. All right, fun facts, why we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. All right, Patrick was born in 83-87 in Britain. So we talk about luck of the Irish, and this guy is not even from Ireland. He is from Britain. So Patrick becomes a Christian priest and traveled to Ireland to spread Christianity there. So there's the connection there with Ireland. Patrick traveled from town to town, tearing down idols and temples and establishing the Catholic Church. Baptized, confirmed, and ordained priest, and he built schools and monasteries. Thousands came into the church under his direction. He accomplished all these activities in less than 40 years, during which time the whole nation of Ireland was converted. Okay, so if you didn't know why we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, there you go. All right, so he accomplished all of these in less than 40 years. He also is well known that he drove all the snakes out of Ireland, kind of. Okay, so when we're talking about the devil and the representative of a snake, he tried, one of the most popular phrases associated with St. Patrick is that he kicked all the snakes out in Ireland. While this is true, Ireland currently has no snakes due to being an island. It is not because of one man removing all snakes. So what is it talking about? Why does he get the credit for that? It's metaphorical. Metaphor in the Bible, snakes represent the devil. So the phrase St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland represents St. Patrick removing the devil from Ireland by spreading Christianity. All right. Video over St. Patrick. You should have a link pop up shortly on the Play Pause It, and just go and watch that video. All right, and then in your comp books, in your binders, let's get this a little, yeah, you should be able to see that. If not, let me try and scoot this up a little bit more. All right, so if you need to pause at any time, you can do that. All right, and then conclusion. This will be answered. There's two questions up here, but they will both be answered on or in your Play Pause It. Okay? So make sure you are following directions. Make sure you are not talking and listening for further instruction. We will get into more about the church structure tomorrow and more about what monks and monasteries and all that, what all that means. And then we'll have a day for corrections, and then we'll see what we can come up with Friday, and we will be good to go for fall break. So make sure, again, we're following directions. Again, you should have a lot of assignments will be starting to show up in iNow. So if you're missing anything, make sure you get that turned back into me. Okay? So questions, make sure you're answering the questions on Play Pause It, and you should be good to go.